I don't remember.
Well, I think one of the most exciting adventures, and I would talk about it in the context of the Wolfsonian and our, the mission of what Micky has put forth for the Wolfsonian and also through the journal, was our joint trip together, our first research trip to Cuba, to in function of producing the Journal of Decorative and Propaganda Arts special issue on Cuba of the late 19th to mid 20th century. So Micky, having spent much of his youth traveling about Cuba, having visited there many times with his family, he told me he was going to give me the grand tour, which he did. From the stock exchange to, which was now being inhabited by 50 families, to what was it?
The great baths, the spa. There was a famous Cuban spa.
San Miguel de los Baños.
And there was a fashionable spa where the Cubans went to take the waters, as the Europeans and as the Americans did in Virginia or West Virginia or in Arkansas. And I had remembered it as a very beautiful, Napoleon III, really more Victorian pile with great baths and gardens. Cathy rushed in tears.
Well, after, I didn't realize, we had been traveling the whole day, it was hot and sweaty, and I should have known after when I asked if they had any bath towels, and when they returned 2 hours later, I should have realized that, I didn't realize they went home to get the bath towels. And so when I went to take the shower, we did have this big suite, but there was no water in the hotel. Then we proceeded down to dinner, and they asked us what would we like to eat, and everything we named off was not existent. And we said, well, what do you have?
Anymore.
And they basically had decomposed rice. Remember rice that they recooked?
Absolutely.
Had been cooked over and over again, and water.
But the whole was beautiful.
Yeah, that was really quite spectacular. And so I think that night was one of many nights in which I slept in my clothes, on my clothes. But after the fact, I was really happy that we did that. It was really quite extraordinary. And in the morning when we woke up, we were totally shocked because we had no idea the condition.
The
sheets hadn't been changed in 40 years, and it was really a ruin.
And the water had all dried up a bit, exported to Miami. Yeah. But there was really nothing left, and the thing was a wreck. But because it was owned by the government, and because the government had to employ people, the staff and everyone pretended. It was a surrealistic exercise, and everybody pretended that things were perfectly normal. There was a functioning dining room, there was a bar, of course there was none of that, but it was like you were dead and you were going through some sort of exercise in this hell.